What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one breaks down what's going on with the overall market, what you should be watching for moving forward. I'm also going to talk about the CPI report that just came out and something very, very big that just happened for SPY, Tesla, the QQQ, and many tickers out there. Before breaking things down about all this information, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, guys, the CPI numbers just dropped. They just dropped a couple of minutes ago, and things are looking very, very bullish for the markets. Looking at the numbers, right over here, we have CPI at 3% year over year. The forecast was 3.2%. I told you guys yesterday, if we get anything below 3.2% for year over year, that is bullish for the markets, and we got 3%, which is bullish. All right. For core CPI, we wanted this thing to be below 5%. That was the forecast. In actuality, it came out at 4.8%, lower than expected again. So once again, we're showing some signs of progress on core CPI as well. Month over month, core CPI rose 0.2%. That's versus the forecast of 0.3%, which means it rose by a percentage that's smaller than expected. Once again, bullish for the markets. And last but not least, inflation rate month over month was 0.2%. That is once again in line with the forecast. So overall, the data is looking pretty good. Almost everything was lower than expected, and the stock market is likely going to like this. Now, I'm going to double check this, by the way. I know that I had this article open up a little bit earlier, but we're just going to look at what this is now saying. We can see now the headlines have updated. They're saying that the Dow futures have ripped higher as inflation report comes in lighter than expected. So far the news is liking this, and we're going to be watching some very important levels on SPY and etc. But looking at the chart, I actually have the chart right here. This is what it's looking like. So 0.2% increase month over month for June. Once again, very similar to these lower levels right here. And for the month, we're continuing to see more and more declines in the rate of inflation. Now, here's the chart I was talking about right here. Check this out. We had the blue line being CPI. Look at how this thing was declining since last year. And then from here, we have the year of 2023 starting. And you could see decline. It went sideways, decline, and another big decline at 3% inflation. So the overall inflation rates are getting very close to 2%, which is what the Fed's target has been. And then to add on to that, the purple line right here is core CPI. That's inflation without food and energy. And check this out. It was declining a bit. What started to concern the Fed was this thing was going sideways for quite a while. All of a sudden, going into today, we got the first decline in quite a while, a very more significant decline. So that is another good sign for it. Now, with all this inflationary data coming out, let me just remind you guys that this does not mean prices are dropping. This simply means the rate at which they're going up is slowing down, right? Inflation was only about 3% overall, and core CPI was 4.8% overall. So that's the rate at which prices are going up. It is slowing down right now. Anyways, I want to just make that very blunt and very clear. Now let's look at SPY. What's going on with it? All right, check this out. I called out this potential cup and handle yesterday. I told you the odds do favor this pushing to the upside. If you look at SPY, it is currently at 445 right now, above the 444 resistance, breaking to a new high. All right, we're going to be watching, can this thing continue to pump? And we're testing this resistance right here at 446.24. If it breaks above this, we're going to be watching 447.5, 448.72 after that, to potentially even 450. I don't know if it's going to go all the way up to 450 today, but overall, the data was bullish for the market, so the odds do favor the market holding up quite nicely and possibly trying to push up a little bit more. Let me also add that later on during the day, we can't forget about this. We have Cash Kari giving a speech 15 minutes after the market opens at 9:45 a.m. for New York time. That's 6:45 a.m. for the West Coast, but 9:45 a.m. for the New York time. We have Cash Kari giving a speech from the Fed, one of the Fed speakers. Then we have Bostic coming out again. We have Beige speaking at about. This is all going to be happening between 1 and 2 p.m. Eastern time, so be ready for some Fed speakers. Bostic may become less hawkish now because this guy was flip-flopping all over the place. He may become less hawkish and become more dovish. This is looking bullish for the market. I mean, so far it's holding up nicely. Going to be watching for a potential cool off. It's going to pop in the morning, then cool off a little bit, then try to continue going. We're going to be watching. Could we get all the way up to at least 447.5? So far, the market's holding up quite nicely. Could even go higher than that. Maybe 448 could come. So it's looking strong so far. If we look at Tesla, this thing is once again up about 2.37%, currently sitting at about 275. I told you guys to watch this imbalance around 276 for Tesla if we get a decent CPI. Tesla already went there in the pre-market. I'm going to be watching to see Tesla pop again. We could see Tesla try to get closer to like 280 or so, then reject, and then start pumping later on. For Aapl, we got some good numbers. Apple's currently at 189.3, testing the 50 EMA. If it gets above this, which I think it will, we're going to likely see this thing go for the gap fill all the way up for this like 190 level. I think Apple's going to try to get there, maybe slow down afterwards, but there's still more bullish momentum remaining. Even NEO is up. The QQQ is up. It's up about almost 1%. And look at this. It came very close to our target in the 372s. That's where this thing ran to in the pre-market. But also, when you zoom out of the triple Q, you will notice that we have another cup and handle. So there's a good chance we're going to see this thing retest the high here. 372.81 is going to be a level to watch. If it breaks that, I think this thing's going to go closer to 375 if we could break that high. And I think there's a good chance it's going to do that. Nvda stock is almost at 430, getting very close to our target of 432. And if it breaks that, this thing has the potential to complete the inverse head and shoulders and make its way up to about 440. Did I say 330? I think I meant 430. Sorry about that, guys. 430 is going to be your target on Nvidia. 432 as well. Watch if it could break this like 430 to 433 area. If it manages to break it, you're going to be seeing this thing get closer to about 440. For Microsoft, this thing is holding up as well, forming a really, really nice cup-like formation. We're going to be watching, could it break the 50 EMA? So we're going to be watching resistance around 335. If it manages to break it, watch this gap to get filled around 337 almost. And if it gets above this resistance at 337, I'm going to be watching it push for 340. But so far, it's looking more bullish. We're about to get a bullish cross on the PPO. Looking pretty nice so far. Our support is at 327 and 330, so watch those as well. It is looking not the strongest compared to the market, but it still is showing some strength today. AMD is up just a little bit. We're going to be watching, can AMD push up even higher to about this imbalance level around this like 114 area. Looks like it's going to try to get there very soon. Last but not least, for Meta, one of my favorite stocks to trade as of recent, Meta just got above 300 as I predicted yesterday. I told you we might see Meta break 300, look pretty strong, because when you look at the weekly on Meta, it's very strong. Look at the weekly, it's just continuing to rip. But notice this. Actually, it doesn't show on the weekly. I think the daily is going to show what I'm about to talk about. This is what Meta is doing, basically. We had this crazy gap down. Meta started to tank after that earnings. I'm sure you guys remember that. But notice, okay, we have this unfilled gap to 320. I think it's about 320. It's going to try to push for that unfilled gap at 320. It's trying to go all the way up there. It's not done yet. You can see the trend is still bullish. It wants 320. It wants to go to these higher levels. I think it's going to try to continue to go up. And we're going to be watching resistance at 300 and also resistance at 303, 305, and levels like that. I think we could see a short squeeze in the market. Lots of shorts may start covering. And overall, things are looking quite good. All right, so that's my report on CPI. Numbers were lower than expected. Expect the market to make some decent moves. And I'll see you guys very soon for the next video. But I just want to inform you, the odds are favoring more bullish price action, short covering, and the Fed saying things that the market may like later on during the day. All right, thank you for listening. Have a great day, everyone. Market to the moon as the long term is very bright. I want to keep this one short just to get this out there as fast as possible. Thank you, and peace out.